Taylor finally grew some balls and decided to choose between one of the girls, Alandria or Clark. Now, are we surprised at who he decided to pick? Absolutely not, because we know from day one he's been stringing Alandria along. Even while he was having his separate chats with the two of them, he just couldn't tell Alandria that he wasn't feeling her. But we see him over and over again kissing on Clark, touching on her, doing all of those things, kicking with the guys, but he couldn't grow some balls enough to tell Alandria how he was really feeling.
Kay Unscripted, no teens restricted. In this journey, watch our stories unfold.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I am Kay and this is Kay Unscripted, and today we're getting into Love Island season 7 episode 22. Now this recoupling was one for the books, but before I break everything down for you, please take a moment and like this video. I've also noticed that a lot of you watch the videos but you're not subscribed yet, so please go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more recaps like this one, and let's get into it. We left off with Nick and Alandria sharing this very steamy kiss. Now once they get up, Alandria is wondering how it's going to be when Sierra comes in, not just shocked that she is at the villa, but the fact that she and Nick shared a kiss and that they're a couple. Alandria does feel a little bit lost because she doesn't have her girls with her. She doesn't trust the new girls that are in the villa right now. She's not very tight to the guys, so she has no one to talk to. Now they head downstairs. Alandria says she's feeling cold. Nick takes his shirt off to give to Alandria. Clark and Taylor walk back in. They have this handshake thing going on, and so Alandria is like, okay, we don't even have a handshake. She's saying that to Taylor because he gave her a hug. And did he just tell Alandria, maybe you're just not liked? Alandria, girl, if this is not another reason to check yourself, like, I don't know what is. What? Huda, who is currently coupled up with JD, they sit to have a chat about the challenge, and he's saying that she was really dominant and he didn't really like that. She's like, no, I had to lead you behind. I had to help you in the challenge. And he's like, no, you're doing a little bit too much and it's coming off combative. Now, this was the same guy who was just telling her, oh, I like a girl who's a little bit crazy because I like crazy. Yeah, okay. Now you're telling her she was doing a little bit too much for the challenge. And he was saying all of that with a big grin on his face. Huda wasn't happy. She just walked away from the conversation. Now we're back in the villa. Ace and Coco are having a chat and he's asking her if she's the jealous type. She says she's not the jealous type. He said that he's very protective over the person he loves or he cares about. Once he's heavily invested, he's very protective of that person. Then we thought we would have seen Ace being a little bit more open, because all we've heard him say is that he has trust issues. He's been through a lot, but we haven't seen him talk about anything in particular that he has been through. Coco then tells him that she doesn't trust easily either, and she's not the kind of girl who's just an open book that's just open for everybody to get to know. You have to kind of go through the pages and kind of warm up to her. Now, I like Coco a lot, but I don't think her match is in the villa. I feel like Coco should have probably been an OG too. But we don't know because we still have some other episodes coming up. Maybe one of the guys from Casa can match with Coco. We don't know. We will see. Peppy and Grayson, they're also having a chat. He's complimenting her, telling her how beautiful she is. And he just pulls her neck and he's like, come here. They share a kiss. What is this? Now the girls are getting ready for bed. Huda is having a talk with Shelly and Andrina, and she's telling them about the conversation she just had with JD. And she literally said, it took everything in me to not say anything to him. Now, I know people have been speculating that maybe producers may have spoken to Huda about her behavior, and this is why she calmed down, and this just solidifies what we were all thinking. Then over at the villa, everybody's getting ready for bed. We see Taylor giving Coco all of these little kisses and doing all of these things. And once he sees Alandria walk into the room, he stops. Now it's the next day and we're at Casa. And we see Amaya and Zaki having a chat. She's pointing out the fact that JD brings her breakfast in the morning and Zake, who she's coupled up with, has not made any effort. So it's definitely giving Zake was nervous that he would have left the villa just coming in, and so that's why he picked Amaya. Now in his confessional, he's saying that he likes Amaya. He doesn't want to rush, he doesn't want to pressure to do anything, but we literally saw you do the same thing with Alandria. You were pressuring her, you were trying to rush to get her to kiss you, and because Amaya went in for the kiss first, you chose her over Alandria. So it's definitely giving that Amaya is a safe pick for you to stay in that villa. I do not like Zaki. I think I've said it before. There's something about him that just doesn't feel right to me, and he's proving it. Now we're back at the villa, and we see a conversation between Nick and Alandria. He's telling her, okay, we were coupled up, and the kiss was really a way to find out if there's something romantic between us. But literally after the kiss, I was thinking about Taylor, and I was also thinking about Sierra and our connection. She said she was also doing the same. And so he's like, I feel like we would just be better off as friends. Now, I do feel like Nick probably liked Alandria, but she's just too hung up on Taylor. And he's also thinking about his connection with Sierra because they were intimate with each other. So I think for everyone who wanted to see Nick and Alandria together, you saw it didn't work. So we were about to move on from Nick Alandria, right? Nick also asked her how she's feeling about Taylor and Clark being in a couple. She said she obviously doesn't want to see them together. It's hard for her, and I don't know what else Alandria needs to realize that Taylor is not into her, but she's going to find out soon and very soon that he's really not into her. Austin and Jaden then have a chat. He talks about having open heart surgery, and he asked her also if she's ever had any serious surgeries or anything major. She said that she has diabetes. Now, I did see the thing on her arm, and I was wondering if she was diabetic, but I'm happy she actually spoke about it. And she said that she just went in for a physical, and this is how she found out. She talks a little bit about what happens when her sugar level is too low. Now, I know all about that. My mom was a diabetic, and that's not something to play with at all. But when she's telling him about it, he said, oh, I think I would pass out all the time because I'm not responsible with anything. Now, this is the sign to know that Austin is not going to commit to anyone or anything. He just wants to have his fun. Back at Casa, Huda has a chat with Chris, who is coupled up with Shelly. She's like, so how are you feeling about Shelly? And Chris is like, well, I like Shelly a lot, but I know she has a connection with somebody back at the villa. And she's like, well, were you interested in talking to anybody else outside of Shelly? And he's like, well, you. And she's like, well, yeah, I did want to have a chat with you, but because Shelly and I are so close, she's my homegirl, I don't want to step on her feet, and that's why I didn't pull you for chat, but you are still pulling him for a chat, Huda. Now, Huda knows that maybe JD will not pick her because of that little argument that they just had. She is trying to secure her spot because she's not ready to go home. Back at the villa, Alandria is about to sit with some of the girls, and Clark tells her, before you get comfortable, let's have a chat. So they go and have a chat, and Clark tells her, okay, it's a little bit weird that you're here because my strongest connection is also your strongest connection, but I will be doing myself a disservice if I do not explore things with Taylor. So Alandria tells her, I get it, I understand it, but to see the way that y'all are all touchy-feely with each other, we took a minute to get there, and it's kind of weird that he's being that way with you. Clark tells her that they are two different women, and it's hard to not compare the two, but they're just different. Now, I don't really like the way that conversation between the two of them went down, because it kind of seemed like they were both trying to say, well, he likes me more, he likes me more. Alandria was like, I've been here for 20-something days, we've been building, we have this connection. And she's like, well, Taylor's connection and I are very, very strong. This is what Clark is saying. Alandria keeps saying that this is the ultimate test for she and Taylor, but baby, he's already moved on. Because all of the things he's been doing with Clark, he's never done with you. Taylor and Alandria have a chat. She's telling him about the kiss she shared with Nick and the fact that they've realized that they're not going to be anything romantic. They're just friends. Taylor had absolutely no reaction because that man don't care. Alandria tells him, well, Clark pulled me earlier and we had a good chat. I didn't expect it because I didn't care to pull her. I wasn't going to either. Taylor says to her, well, y'all are kind of similar. And she's like, I'm gonna need you to not compare me to anybody, period. Alandria then tells him, well, y'all did start your connection really physical. And he's like, you're talking like we're having sex. She's like, no, when I say intimate, I mean kissing and touching. Now, it's clear to see that Taylor has zero experience. He has the mind of a child because he's a boy. And I don't know why Alandria is trying so hard because clearly he is out of her league. Okay, they're not on the same level, but clearly he's more into Clark, and time again, he keeps saying it because of the fact that he just defended himself and he's like, oh, don't be talking about it like we're just effing each other. TJ and Vanna have a chat. He's asking her about her last relationship. She said her ex was pretty much a boy version of herself. She said that she finds it difficult to know what's going on with TJ because he always has a resting bitch face. And TJ's like, well, I don't know what you want me to do about that. I kind of changed my face. We haven't seen these two connect in any way, so it's given that he's not into her. So while everyone is lounging, Shelly gets a text that says, Islanders, tonight you will return to the villa. Jaden from the villa gets the text that says there will be a recoupling in which you must all decide whether you want to stick with your current couple or couple up with someone else. Now, clearly everybody is torn. They don't know what they're going to do because everybody is worrying about the connections that they have made from the beginning compared to the connections they have now. So it's later on in the evening. Everybody gets dressed. Everyone from Casa heads over to the villa. Ariana struts her beautiful behind into the villa, and she tells them, just like in Casa, one of the girls went home. Likewise, in the villa, one of the guys get home. So let's bring in all of the boys to see who they're coupled up with. Now, Ariana calls each of the guys to come in with their couple one by one. And once he got to Taylor, which was the last, of course, the girls who at Casa, they don't know that Nick left, well, for a little bit. But we see Sierra instantly breaking down because Nick is not there. Ariana then introduces the girls from Casa with their new couples, and baby didn't let my girl Sierra cry her eyes out. Oh my god, they let Sierra cry her eyes out before Ariana says, oh, by the way, there's another couple. Then we see Alandria and Nick coming around the corner. All of the girls, they ran over to meet them. Sierra runs to hug Nick. They share a kiss. They missed each other. And all of the girls are just hugging on Alandria. So it's now time to do the recoupling. Everyone is on a podium, and they must each write the name of the guy or the girl that they would like to couple up with. And in order for them to recouple, they must match. So the first guy to go up was Austin. Ariana asked if anyone has Austin's name. They must stand next to him. Jaden went up. She asked if anyone else has Jaden's name written down. No one did, and so Jaden and Austin are now a couple. Next up was Amaya, and Ariana asked if there's anyone who has Amaya's name written down. She had both Zake and JD, but Amaya had Zake's name written down, so they are now a couple, which makes JD single and vulnerable. Up next was Pepe, and the same continued. Pepe's coupled up with Grayson. Next was Andrina. She went into Casa single, but she was coupled up with Brian, and they remain a couple. Up next is TJ, who was exploring his connection with Iris before, and he's currently exploring his connection with Vanna. And so Iris and Vanna both went and stood next to TJ. Ariana asked if there's anyone who has Iris's name on, and Zach C came on. However, because Iris had TJ's name, that makes Zach C single. But in the end, TJ chose Iris and they are now a couple. Now, it was now Ace's turn, and of course, he has Shelly and Coco standing next to him. Nobody else wrote either of the girls' names. And baby, my heart was beating so fast. I was nervous because we know Ace. And we didn't know what he was going to do, but he chose Shelly to recouple with. The next person to go up was Huda. And when Ariana asked, because she went into she went into Casa single, if there's any boy who has Huda's name down, we see Chris stepping in, and we kind of knew that would have happened, right? And so they both picked each other. They were a match. But when Ariana asked her why she picked Chris, she's like, oh, well, he makes witty comments to me and we make each other laugh a lot. And he wasn't able to explore his connection with anybody else. Excuse me? Neither was Jeremiah, which is why he went home. So please don't do too much, Heather. The next girl to go up was Sierra, and she had both Elan and Nick standing next to her. But of course, we know CC is going to pick Nick Pooh, okay? Now, Taylor was the last guy to go, and it was now his moment to decide which girl he's going to couple up with, because both Alandria and Clark stood next to him. And y'all, my heart was racing. I was nervous because we know they're going to stretch it out and make us wait and wait and wait and wait till we find out what happens. And of course, Taylor picked Clark. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised, because we know from the beginning, once Clark entered the villa, he's been so much more into her than he's been with Alandria, and everybody else was shocked. I don't know what they're seeing that we're not seeing between this connection with Alandria and Taylor, but we were not seeing it at all. But Alandria kept her composure. We see Clark though literally chuckling. It came off like, in your face, like, yeah, in your face, he chose me. To me, that's what it was giving, because when Amaya was like, are you serious? Taylor, really? Clark just kept on laughing to herself. Ariana asked Alandria how she's feeling. She said she's disappointed because she did have a chat with Taylor. She has already stepped out of her comfort zone to allow him to explore his connection with Clark, but they did have a chat where she's telling him, please let me know what I need to give you what you need, pretty much. And so she's not surprised, but she's just really disappointed. Now, I wish we got to see that conversation to see what Taylor's reaction was, because clearly she's been fighting for Taylor to pick her the entire time we saw them talking, and we know Taylor had already made up his mind that he was going to pick Clark anyway. Now, when they went over to sit with the other couples, Taylor's head is down. His hand is on his face. He looks like he's afraid, like he's nervous, like, oh shit, did I make a mistake? No, put your head up, because you made your decision. So please look like you're happy. When Clark tipped that he didn't look too happy, we didn't see her smiling anymore, because you were just laughing and chuckling because he picked you. And now you're seeing the way he looks like he's disappointed in his decision. So we now have 6 singles. There's 3 boys and 3 girls. Ariana then says that 1 boy and 1 girl can be saved. She then separates those who were in Casa and those who were in the villa. Those who were in the villa now have to pick which girl they would like to save, and those in Casa will then decide which boy they would like to save. So those who were in the villa, they're trying to decide who they're going to pick, which one of the girls. Now, obviously, the new girls want Coco, because that's who they came in with. And Ace too was saying that he thinks they should save Coco as well, because she never once made him feel like he had to pick between her and Shelly. Now, we do see Nick coming in like, no offense to you, Clark, but if Taylor decides to change his mind, y'all just met each other for 3 days. He's had something stronger with Alandria for longer than that, so he can decide that he wants to change his mind. I'm voting for Alandria. Peppy said he's also voting for Alandria. And Grayson, I think, is saying that no offense, but she's going for Coco. So they're indecisive as to which girl they're going to pick. So the Islanders who were in Casa are now deciding on who they would like to pick, as well as those in the villa. After much discussion, those in Casa, they decide to save Elan. Now, I like Elan and I think he has a really great personality. So I look forward to seeing if he's going to still explore his connection with Sierra or if he's going to explore with some of the other girls in the villa. Now it's the guys and the girls who are in the villa time to pick which girl they would like to save. And we see Peppy standing up and he says that they're going to pick Alandria, and everybody was happy except Taylor and Clark. Obviously, you can see Taylor doesn't want Alandria to remain in the house, but we're going to see how that's going to pan out now that Alandria was saved. So that means that JD, Zaxi, Vanna and Coco are single and they must all leave the villa. So the four of them head out of the villa, and then we see Shelly and Ace sharing some kisses. And this is where the episode ends on Love Island Season 7, Episode 22. Now tell me all of your thoughts on this episode. How are you feeling about the new recoupling? How are you feeling about the way Casa Amor just ended and all of the twists and turns that this episode brought? I need to know what you're feeling, thinking. Share all of it in the comments and I'll meet you all there. And as always, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!